across just well. Everybody be a little bit patient with us. This is our first time doing this, and you know, like they say, you never forget your first time. Junior, I know you're out there watching. This is going to be things
Hi,
that
RJ.
you're going to hear Mom and I say that probably we shouldn't say, but we're going to say anyway. So just, again, be patient with us, as this is our first time. We're excited to be here. Carrie is going to be handling the moderation for tonight. We expect to go for about a half hour. We figured nothing too serious. We're trying to keep this lighthearted as two 50-somethings try to tackle this modern technology.
Yeah.
So if you're new to our channel, I think we've said this about 143 times so far, so we might as well say it again. My name is Bob.
What? I'm
Whoa,
Carrie.
you forgot who you were. This is
No,
Carrie.
You're speaking.
You are watching Life Redesigned.
Jeez.
We've been married for 28 years, effectively on Thursday,
Yes.
which is our wedding anniversary, and we were not anticipating on doing a live stream at all.
We have to say hello to our new friends, our everyday getaway. Hi,
Well,
guys.
hello, guys. How are you?
Hi,
and
Mike.
welcome. But I want to get this out real quick if I can. So Carrie and I, our wedding anniversary is Thursday for the 28th years. And
Hi, guy.
I'm going to get this out.
No, you're not.
What we actually, thank you. What we actually have done is we had made a plan ourselves when we started this channel, which was just basically to make videos for our kids to see how goofy. And I'll cover that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But this was really just to be fun. And we said, oh, if we ever got big and we ever made 2,000 subscribers, and that was big to us, right?
Yeah. That was huge.
We would do a live stream. And there's the events over the past couple of weeks, we're at 2,000 subscribers. So we put our anniversary plans on hold. So there's no gift for Carrie this year. But we decided to do a live stream. No, in all honesty, folks, we'll be heading down to the Keys. We have a month planned down there. So she is very well taken care of, I think, from time to time.
I am.
So at any rate, that's what we're doing. I got this weird pillow behind me. Yeah, so at any rate, that's pretty much what's been going on. A lot of ground to cover, a lot of crazy things going on with us and with the past few weeks here in general. Carrie and I think, start off with the bad, not to ruin any upcoming videos, but after a few health concerns and scares, we've had to do a lot of changing, thank you, and you're welcome. We had a lot of changing to our lifestyle. I can see some of the comments up here, which I wasn't prepared for, so if
Well,
as long
that
as I
will help me.
keep the glasses on. So there's a lot of health things going on, and that's one of the things about, I think the message of our channel always is about pivoting. And over the course of the past few months, since we sold everything and we decided we were going full time, things kind of got a little wonky. Out of nowhere, I think most of it was just because I just started eating pretty much everything. And it was this freedom. There was no kids at home. There was, you know, whatever you put in the fridge is yours. Whatever you order for takeout is yours. And if you've been through this empty nest thing before, you know where we're going here. So basically just ate myself into a mess. So developed sleep apnea along with a whole lot of breathing issues and stuff like that. So the past month or so, Carrie and I are back on a ketogenic diet, and we've also committed to walking about 5 to 7 miles a day, which if you're here in TTO is not a hard problem. You just make a few passes around.
7 miles of those passes.
But I believe up until this point, I've lost about 17, 18 pounds. Carrie is on point to meet her goals as well as we constantly go. She gets a little more discouraged, you know what I mean? She gets a little more
discouraged.
upset. I get on the scale and I'm like, hey, I haven't gained weight. Carrie's like, I only lost 3 pounds and is upset. So at any rate, yeah, that's pretty much that. As far as live streams go, we have no idea what we're doing. None of this is within our wheelhouse, but we have met a lot of people over the past couple of weeks, and the outpouring of support from the community has been great. of the something like 6,000 views off the last two videos. There's something like, I believe, in paraphrasing here, there was roughly about 400 likes and like 40 likes, non-likes, no likes,
No
dislikes.
Dislikes.
And of the, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
If you get into the interesting part of all that is, you know, hey, this is YouTube, and we were warned from the beginning,
Yeah.
have thick skin. Up until this point, though, we've never had a bad comment.
No.
So it was kind of like kind of
That's kind
weird,
of tough though. Like,
but at the same time,
like you just, I don't
you
know.
just kind of go with it.
It feels personal for a second, and then it's just like, okay. And
So-
he's got to like calm down.
EDI guy, I can tell you right now, we
Alright.
are actually streaming with Verizon at the moment because Starlink couldn't handle the stream going out for some reason, which is weird because it normally handles my team meetings in the morning. But nonetheless, and Carrie's running off of, I believe you're off the T-Mobile
Yep.
at this point.
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunately here, no mad internet at this point. But seriously, we've got like a whole bunch of stuff I want to get out there. Yeah, every day get away. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. Yeah, definitely. If you guys could hit the like button, the thumbs up button, we'd appreciate that. Apparently, that helps as we've dive into this realm of YouTube live streams.
This
Apparently,
is
that's
strange.
important. This is very strange because not only can we see you, just to give you some behind the scenes, we can see ourselves here. We're
Here
streaming this off
and
our phone,
here.
and we also have it up on the big screen behind us, or behind this screen as well. So just so we can kind of watch how everything is and how everything's played out.
It's confusing.
So just some quick background as to how we got started in YouTube, because I think this is kind of an important thing to get out
Yeah.
there, because we do get asked by people that once they find out that you do YouTube, they ask all the time, hey, I want to get into YouTube, what do you think? And the first thing I always tell everybody is be patient, right? We started making videos again, as we've said 100 times before, just basically to let our kids know that we do something more than just be mom and dad. When we were traveling, we would get going. When we discovered YouTube back in 2016, 2017, we had our first channel that we watched was Less Junk, More Journey. We were looking up section hikes of the AT, because we were taking our youngest daughter down to Virginia to hike McAfee Knob for one of our anniversary trips. We got onto a video of theirs called Captain Underpants. It was up at the top of McAfee Knob.
Yep.
And we watched pretty much all their videos. 'Cause at that point, they were relatively small. Watched all their videos in like a single weekend, just binge watching, and then discovered Traveling Robert. The interesting
Yeah.
big thing about Traveling Robert was his video style was totally different at the time. He put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into his productions, and you could see that his editing was amazing. And being a semi-creative guy, I wanted to emulate that on a lot of levels. So I told my wife, I said, hey, we're going to start doing this. And I'll cover that in just a second. But we'll start making these videos, and we bought the equipment. We bought a gimbal. We bought all this stuff. We drove down to Ocean City, Maryland, and this is, keep in mind, in February, this is a month and a half before the pandemic started, right? Just around that time, to give you, when we were all sent home from work.
Yeah.
I went down there, dash cam footage, we did our thing, and I edited this, and it is a piece of crap.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
The perfect parking spot.
I was so excited.
You have to see this.
This is one of the worst videos
It
on
was
YouTube.
awful.
And it was me doing voiceovers and whatever. And as this progressed, we noticed that we play them back for the kids and go, look, mom and dad are on TV, right? And we started making a little more videos, and we tweak a little more. And thank you, we appreciate
thank
you for
you.
being here. And we started making these videos, and people were watching. And as baffled as our kids were that people were watching our videos, we were baffled as well. And at the time, so you have the pandemic happening, and everybody got sent home. We had plans to travel a lot more, and we weren't able to
Yeah.
because everything was kind of locked down. And we were kind of, do you go, do you not go? And we just kind of tried to make what videos we could, and then they weren't really getting seen, and then we stopped doing videos for about a good 5 to 6 months. We just said, because we weren't instant success, we were done. Uh, and then we focused on doing eBay videos because at the time, Carrie and I we had a eBay business. We would sell a whole lot of eBay stuff, especially during the pandemic. We were crazy busy, and we shifted our channel over to basically eBay stuff, and which at the time we thought we were creative. Our brand, our channel was 25 plus life because when Carrie and I started, we were 25 years married and we had life to go, and we thought that was funny. Most people didn't get that, and they thought we were prisoners or whatever, and so we would up and down, up and down, up and down. So we had that channel. We ran that channel right up until January of this year, when we were now full time, and we were still making videos, and we bought some microphones, some equipment. Ran into a couple other YouTubers who said, we don't understand why you guys aren't bigger than you are right now. And we're like, well, keep eating, I'm going to be as big as you want me to be. But no, seriously, that was the underlying theme. Was everybody kept saying, we don't understand why you're not being seen. And I think a lot of it had to do with the pandemic, and a lot had to do with not being able, or not putting out videos and whatnot. So Carrie and I had a long discussion in January, and we decided that we were either going to stop making YouTube videos or we were going to commit to making YouTube videos. And one of the first things that needed to go was the 25 plus life name. And we sat around and we're like, what are we doing here? We need to start all over again. We need to trash everything. We need to redesign our logos. We need to redesign our whole entire quote unquote brand. And that's how, and I think at one point Carrie said we need to redesign our whole life. And that's how Life Redesigned came about. And once we started doing that, and rebranding that way, we saw the channel views and stuff pick up. So now we're focusing a little more on vlog style videos, which is really my passion. I think that's something that I want to do and continue in that thing. We still like to do review videos, but I think mostly what I'd like to do is share our stuff with you guys. Before we started doing this, thank you. We like the rebrand too. It's a great logo. Expensive to print, but it is a nice logo. Before we go really any further, it seems like I'm doing all the talking. That's our whole relationship. Pretty much when we're out in public, Carrie talks to everybody and I say nothing unless I'm spoken to. Here, Carrie doesn't like to talk too much on the camera. So, if you guys haven't hit the thumbs up button, hit it up again just to let Carrie know that she's doing good and she can keep up with this stuff.
Attention.
But at any rate, and so back to the events of the past couple of weeks. So I work full time. Carrie handles all our travel and all our branding, which has become in the past couple of weeks a full time job in and of itself, replying to comments. And ironically, over the past 3 videos that have come out, we have been flooded with people that want us to sponsor or want to sponsor us with their products and whatnot. And we've been, and that's another subject. Before I think I dive into the Nomad internet thing, let's stop for a second. I want to make this abundantly clear for you guys that are watching and people that watch it on the replay as well. My intention here was never to have an issue with people who accept sponsorships or who are brand ambassadors or who are even legitimate influencers, right? My dislike or disdain for the current situation with Nomad is akin to not liking an auto mechanic. It doesn't mean that I hate all auto mechanics. I just don't like the dishonest ones that when you go in with a 2022 vehicle, tell you that you need a whole new motor when all you needed was an air filter replacement. And coming from New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, you've been through those inspection processes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As a matter, I think of the 14 or so people that have reached out to us about sponsoring videos and stuff like that, we've actually turned them all down. It's not the direction that we want to go in at this point. That being said, we may be open to it down the road, because I firmly believe that the amount of people, especially if you are a YouTuber in here, give a thumbs, put a thumb up in the emoji part there, and just, you know, let yourself be known here, because I think what happens with YouTubers is, I think people take for granted the amount of work that goes into just making a video. You're talking about equipment, you're talking about time, you're talking about a lot of time editing, and you're also talking about, you really are putting yourself out there. Not only your personal image, but you're opening yourself up to be ridiculed for the way you speak, the way you look, the way you dress. There's a lot to that, and then there's also an awful lot of channels that this is all about the creative process for them. And I think on a lot of levels, them being rewarded is great. They're not going to make any money, real money, off of ad revenue. It's 4,000 views, only receives you roughly about $20. So even if you really hit, and you're getting 20,000 views a video, you're getting $80, and you probably have, between filming and editing and everything, you probably have about 4 hours as a minimum into that video. So I do believe they have a right to be compensated for their time. And if it wasn't for ambassadors, and it wasn't for influencers, one, Carrie and I wouldn't know about this lifestyle, which has been amazing. And we love everything about the RV life and the community that's involved with it. The people that we've met, we never would have met otherwise.
Yeah.
And the products that have been out, there's a lot of them that we use. Sometimes I look for alternatives. Carrie owns an electric bike. If you see my bike review videos, the rattan bikes, I still have mine. And Carrie uses the electric bike because it fit for her better. And that's just the way it goes. But I wouldn't have known about those if it wasn't for particular influencers showing us those. And influencers also don't get credit for what they do as far as bringing down the market price of these products. And a perfect example is electric bike. They not only push out a lot of free bikes, but they also have made it so this category of e-bikes is blown up, and now you have a lot more competition in the marketplace, and there's also a lot of cheaper alternatives that are about the same construction quality, the same grade as that electric bike, but it's more obtainable price tag for people who want to get into it. And I think this is where influencers come in, and that's where their job here on this, especially on this platform, is good. What I don't like, as I've said in the past couple of videos, I'm going to try to keep it simple because I really don't get into bashing things.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when somebody tells you that something is something when it's not. And that was the point that I was trying to make on that video, or those series of videos, and that's where I spoke up. Other side from that, I think there's a time and a place for everything. Now, that being said, I'm still waiting for people to accept the challenge and donate their money out if they truly are sorry. To date, nobody has stepped forward. In fact, we know the videos are making the rounds because we get the negative comments about them. So it is what it is at that point, and it's just sad, because what that does is it detracts from the people that are hardworking, that are, and not just because they're in here, or if they still are in here. Our Everyday Getaway is a perfect example of how things should be. I've met him in person. What a great guy, and just the same on camera as he is off. And Chris, if you are still, I can't tell if Chris is still in the room. Chris,
So.
if you're still in the room, I do want to give you a shout out here, because when we met, Carrie and I were in the middle of a 5-mile walk, and I stunk profusely. And I was trying to place where I knew you from, and I'm terrible with names, and especially channel names. And as you got closer, I was trying to back up because I smelled that. So I've made it a point now, whenever I'm out that direction, that I wear deodorant and cologne. So, hey, we'll go in for a bro hug, it'll be good. But I mean, seriously, in all seriousness, there's a lot of people on YouTube who are doing fantastic work, and I think they should be acknowledged and they should be credited for the work that they do. Uh, I really can't stress that enough. If it comes across as backpedaling, I apologize, but it's always been my perception of YouTubers is that the majority are hardworking people, and just like in the whole RV community for that matter. And you just have some people that this is a business, and some people whose whole goal is to get famous. And ironically, we seem to get along better with the ones that don't want to get famous. They just want to make content and share whatever they have to share, whether it be hello as you well.
Hi. You got it?
Yeah, I can see some of this stuff. I'm getting older. These glasses help. But I think for the majority, there's people out there, again, I think I stepped over myself. But there's a lot of people that do this for the right reasons, and there's a lot of people who do this because they look at this as a business, or they look at it as a way to get famous, or a way to get free product. And with that, you can always tell who it is because you'll see the clickbait, the thumbnails that, I'm not even going to name thumbnails, but I think you get the point where you click on something expecting something else, and it's not even remotely close.
Yeah.
Everything's high drama. That's another warning sign. Those type of things. But people who want to share their life with you and do it for the love of the creative process, those are the ones that we support. And I keep coming back to Robert Morales and Traveling Robert. Robert, from the beginning, we've been in contact with Robert on and off. And he's always been very supportive of us when we were doing Facebook page.
Yep.
He's been, anytime I've reached out to him via Facebook messages, he's always ready to reply. And just a gentleman who he takes a ton of effort, and he's probably one of the most unrecognized people for what he does as a whole for the community. And I think that's great. What else you got? Got any questions?
Nader Tater did a good call out of Nomad. He shared his research.
Well, and there's that as well. So I don't know Eric personally. There was a lot of backlash about Eric, and I think mostly because he had been with them for quite a while. I don't know Eric. I've heard good and bad there. At the end of the day, yeah, that kind of sucks for him. On the level of it was a paycheck, and the rest of it, you kind of have to buyer beware on that one. That's all I'll say. Because I've watched Eric's videos, and I watch it. Sometimes I watch it wondering if it's going to be a train wreck, and then there's sometimes I watch it because again, Eric, like a lot of these other creators, have showed us a lot of things in the country that we didn't know existed.
Yeah.
But there are times that watching Eric that you cringe and you go, oh boy, that's going to be a thing. And I think some of it Eric likes to, just my opinion here, Eric likes to thread that needle just a little bit because he does like that. I have haters, and then you feed the trolls, and then the trolls come back. Of trolls, and touching on that, through all the backlash on this stuff, most people, once they said their piece, were done.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I'm nowhere near the level, we're nowhere near the level of Nomadic Fanatic, but I'm quite sure once you reach that level, you're going to have a lot of people gunning for you, just because it is what it is. It's the Walmart theory, right? Everybody loves Walmart until it's in their backyard, and then nobody hates it because they destroy mom and pop business, but nobody was shopping at the mom and pop business. That's why there was a need for Walmart, right? It's just the way it goes. Yeah, so basically I'm done yakking. If you guys have questions, please throw them in because we'd love to answer whatever we can.
Me too.
He does. Oh, a different one.
Does.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll check that channel out as well. I've been turned on to a lot of channels as of late that I didn't know existed, and a lot of them that I have been watching off my personal account and never really connected with Life Redesigned's page. So as I start to dive in more, one of them I felt bad for was Wayward Wags, because, and I got to give a shout out. I don't know if he was able to make it in, but we met him as well during my smelly period, and I was instantly, now I've watched Wayward's Wags videos for quite some time, and they're another one along with Chris and his wife that do an amazing job, and I'm such a fanboy, because to me I'm like,
Yes.
I'm meeting YouTubers that I've watched on TV and that are leaps and bounds above what we do and have a broader reach than what we have, and just communicating with them, right, and how genuine they are, just like they are on camera. But at the same time, I'm in the background going, oh boy, it's it's Dustin, and I'm like, and I'm trying to be like, and at one point I'm like, watch your guys' videos. Hey, EDI guy, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it, and check us out again if we ever decide to get the courage to do this. But yeah. So that's basically just my shout outs there. But in TTO, we'll have a video out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
As we start to release videos a little more frequently, because I think there's a lot of good stuff that we've done. I think we're going to be looking at Mondays and Thursdays. We'll see how the views go. If we continue with this upward momentum, then we'll continue with that process. Well, let me tell you something, Chris. You guys, as I'm watching your video, you guys, the passion you put into it, and one thing I do want to give a shout out to Chris and his wife for is that Katrina. I'm sorry, I am terrible with names. When we started watching your videos, I can remember you guys sitting at the front of your Class A talking about budgets and how much things cost and what this life was like on the road. It really resonated with us. One of the things I love about their videos, and your videos, excuse me, is that how genuine you guys are. Anybody who can, I see a certain amount of Chris in me, right? Like, I can see the way he looks at his wife is the same way I look at you. And I love that.
It's genuine.
It's genuine when you can, you've been married for a while, and you still have that look in your eye, and that's an awesome thing, and I love seeing that in your videos.
Like when you talk, it makes me proud.
Sometimes Carrie likes it when I talk, and other times she tells me to shut the hell up too.
Yeah.
And that's and speaking of honesty, Chris, that's one of the things that we've decided, that going forward, instead of looking at our videos and going, hey, we're going to be History Channel Bob and what obedient wife Carrie or whatever it is, we're going to start being ourselves and let a little more of our personality out, because I think at the end of the day, a response. Sometimes I'm an ass, and sometimes she is as well. But we have an awful lot of banter that sometimes doesn't make it across camera. Yeah. And in a couple of weeks, we have a video from here, because I have a couple of videos I have to get out first because I've been sitting on it for a little bit. The videos that are coming out, I think the week of the 23rd, we just let it all go.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Dustin, thank you for stopping in. We're honored to have you guys here as well. You missed it. In case you did miss it, I apologize for when we met because I smelt so bad. And at the same time, if you happen to catch this video that I'm talking about Thousand Trails, I'm going to apologize to you immediately. We were walking through your section, and I was using it as a comparison between the sections. And I set up this tripod in the middle of the road because I'm just that guy now. And I'm like 2 feet from your RV.
He didn't realize
I didn't realize until she pointed out.
And he's like, nah.
And I left it in the video because that's just the way it is now. But I think, the part of this journey has been amazing. And thank you. We did this journey, and it's something that to see this coming up and going, I'm very happy.
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait. You might not want to say that. But it's an interesting journey, one that we look forward to sharing a little more. And by nature, believe it or not, Carrie and I are introverts. We really don't hang out with people. We really don't do that thing. That's why when people started recognizing us, especially off this past couple of weeks, um, we're still new,
Yeah.
and we're like a little intimidated by that. But it has taught us that we we want to get out there, and we're open to meet more people, because some of the stories we've heard out here are absolutely incredible.
Surprisingly cold in Southern California.
Ooh, we're heading there next year, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact. This year here, once we are done with Florida, I believe in June, we're going to be heading out through Alabama, out through Kentucky. We're all the way up into Michigan, and then we're dropping back down, and we're going to be in Texas towards October, November, and then that's as far out as we booked through Thousand Trails, and a couple of little different places. But if you guys we're looking at Florida here for next year, because we domicile here now, but we may not. Things can change, and now we have the new truck, we can go anywhere.
Go anywhere.
I just can't work in Mexico or Canada, and that's okay. But I think we can go anywhere. If you have suggestions as to where to spend the
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. We're going to be out towards Colorado River
Colorado River.
and all that area. We're still checking into some of the Encore resorts in southern Texas because we're not at the 55 level,
Not yet.
because I know they're all age qualified.
Yeah.
But we're looking to see if some of them will take us in, like a couple of refugees, and let us in and say, if we
We're
act
quiet.
nicely and whatever. Although, I don't know. I've heard some stories, and maybe if you guys know, I've heard some stories coming out of South Texas that there's a lot of upside down pineapples all over the place. So you got to be
Oh,
careful.
for crying out loud.
And if you don't know what that is, she didn't know what that was a couple minutes ago
I
either.
didn't know what a lot of things are.
And we're learning as we go here. But I think on that note, if you guys have
Little
RJ, thank you. Our
Hey!
son is here. He does charge for
Junior also
autographs.
begins.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Aw.
I think at this point, if nobody has any questions for either Carrie or I, or anything you would like to know or discuss, Corpus Christi, nice.
Yeah.
The eclipse, I hear next year, everybody's already booking out for that. That's another thing. I have the path already marked out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, fire away. If
Yeah.
not, we're going to wind this down, because I'm eating 2 meals a day, and it's getting time to do a walk and then eat a meal.
Seriously?
Yeah, we got to walk. We've only got like 4 miles in. We got to hit the 5, at least 5.
All right.
But
Thank you. We're getting. Oh,
well,
thank you.
I
We
apologize. The
appreciate
further you go back in the catalog, some of those videos, I just apologize ahead of time. But they do get better, especially from January to here. We
Good.
have some mic issues with new mics
Thank
that
you.
worked for a minute, then didn't work, and now they're working again.
it. Yeah.
So hello, Full-Time Dream.
Oh,
Thank you for stopping in. So yeah, that's about it. So I think I'm gonna probably cut it here unless anybody has anything.
questions. What do you want to know about us? Like, besides him yakking the whole time.
I know, right? I'm like sweating. I've talked too much.
It is a
It
learning
is.
curve. It's huge.
It is, and coming from, I will say this, those of you that are still here and whatnot, and if you haven't started a YouTube channel already, but you're thinking about it, editing takes the hardest part to learn. I have a computer background in IT and know stuff pretty well. Editing is some of the hardest stuff to do when you're trying to have a creative vision and get that across. And there's some times where you just lose it, and there's other times where you're like, you're just gonna run with it. And I think the easy part is, the filming of the video. The hard part is getting your point across in a creative
See,
manner.
the filming is kind of hard for me still. Just a little bit. I'm getting better, but it's a little bit.
She's getting a whole lot better, and she's having a lot more fun with it.
Yeah.
And thank you
Oh,
guys
thank
as well. Awesome having you here. In fact, we're honored to have you here. And we'll catch you guys as well. But I think yeah, where I was going to go with this. When we let out the Chuck and Penelope, and we'll that's when things get interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I'm going to shut this down. Last call for questions or anything. Anybody want to say anything? If not, we're going to shut it down here. I think. I'm not sure how I'm going to shut it down, but I'm going to shut it down.
I don't know.
All right, we'll come back in either a week or two. Next week, if we do jump in, it's going to be from the Florida Keys. We'll try to do one of these. Yeah, if you want us to come back on a live stream, let us know. Drop us a comment.
Hi, Amy.
Oh, Musquamaket, southeastern Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah. Musquamaket is. I'm from there. In fact, that's where Carrie and I met.
You too. Have a great night.
And yeah, it's great. But definitely, we're here till Saturday.
Yeah.
We're on Jewelfish on the back end. Stop on down and say hi. I think that's it. We're gonna go.
We're gonna go.
We'll catch you guys maybe next week, week after. We'll see if we can do this again.
All right.
All right. Good
Yes.
job, kid. Happy anniversary.
Back at you.
Have a good night, everybody. Now I don't know how to shut this off.